see. Okay, I haven't done uploads for a while now. Welcome to my channel. My name is Irina Shapoon. I'm a intuitive coach and a rainbow warrior and alchemist, and I'm using this channel foremost to do intuitive readings for you guys with my tarot card decks, but also just to talk about different subjects, preferably like personal development and raising the consciousness of the planet, and how to raise the consciousness of myself, and how to do it for yourselves, and etc. Oh my god, it's been so long time now since I haven't uploaded any videos, so I don't I can't even speak properly. But I'm planning to upload more frequently now again, for at least once a week as a minimum, I think. Maybe more often, we'll see. Let's see, I think I'm going to readjust the picture a little bit like this. Maybe like this. Yes, I have the beautiful forest that I love so much behind me here. It's like a beautiful big painting when you sit in the living room. Anyways, so welcome, and sorry for not uploading for such a long time. It's mostly because I've been like involved with so much work. I had 2 jobs, and one of them, I started 2 jobs like in May, because I had last year, as I told in different sessions, I actually quit my job. I decided like this is not for me anymore. I feel stuck in like it feels like such a 3D matrix job for me, to work in the shops that I was used to working in for many years before. So last year I quit that and I took a long break. And now this year I thought, oh, now I will find this new job where I have a surrounding of people with higher consciousness, and also the work should be more high in vibration and not so focused on the materialistic side of life. Like, it's quite difficult in this world because, let's face it, like most people are still stuck in the 3D matrix system, and we are still having a system that's run in 3D. So it will take time to adjust it to a higher vibration, a higher consciousness, where everyone can like have something to give, share without taking from others. So basically I had 2 jobs, and it was provision-based jobs, and one of them I still keep it because it's like intuitive guidance with cards. It's in I used to work for them before too. It's from home, using my internet and telephone, and that's feeling like my life purpose. So that's a job that I kept. And but the other job was like very much 3D matrix, as you can say. So I was there for 5 months. I still feel emotionally drained, like mentally drained and physically drained from it, like exhausted, because I had such a long break from this type of environments for such a long time before. So it was a big challenge to get back to that, but it was also a good experience, of course. And I got to try the opportunity to work in the health business, which is also my life purpose. I think I feel like I like to inspire people within like the areas of health and spiritual development and personal development. So it was nice to try to be there, but it was still not my cup of tea, as you say in British English. So let's see. I am doing one of my jobs now, and I will slowly take time to find another job that I can combine with this one that feels good and that I hopefully can keep for a long time. So sorry about the long break, but I was working I don't know if I said it earlier, but I was working like 60 hours a week, sort of like that, or I was scheduled 60 hours a week at least, and it didn't really pay off economically or emotionally or mentally. I mean, it didn't give as much as I gave, it didn't give back. It was no balance in it. So that's why I took one of them away. And so I'm excited. It feels right. And let's see what's coming up next. So still I'm a little bit out of tune with myself and doing this because I've been in such a different energy and environment for such a long time. I'm still readjusting again to myself, my own energies and my own inner balance. And I was planning to actually exercise today, then I would have been a bit more energetic for you guys, but actually it's raining all day. It's a bit foggy, rainy weather, not raining a lot, but just a little bit. So I didn't really feel like going out today. So I have that left for tomorrow to go out for a jog in the forest. Anyway, so my plan for this session is actually to give you forecasts and advice for the month ahead for all of you guys who are watching this session up until January next year. And I will not divide it into different months. I will just ask Spirit and Universe what's coming up ahead for people that are still in the perspective and the consciousness of 3D versus people who are shifting versus people who have reached 5D, for what they can expect and what they will experience the coming months ahead, and also advice if needed. So that will be interesting for me and hopefully for you too. So let's see. Let's begin. We can do a little meditation before together. Just relax and feel like you are in the center of yourself, in your own energy. Let's clear the energetic area around yourself. And welcome in light and positive energy within and outside of yourself. This is a selenite wand, by the way. It's a typical stone found in Morocco, but also some other countries, and it's usually used for meditation and cleaning air and cleaning energies. So I find it very calming when I hold it, and first time I held selenite, I was like, oh my god, I feel so calm and peaceful. And it's different too, depending on your chakra system, depending on your birth chart, depending on what star sign you are, what kind of stones make you feel balanced and happy and peaceful. But selenite was definitely one of my stones. So I just fell in love with it. So now I have many selenite wands, and I use them. Sometimes I sleep with it under my pillow, and I can use it during meditation, and of course cleansing myself and doing spiritual work. You can actually cleanse yourself, your aura, using it like this on your body. You can also use other things, of course, that you feel have a high vibration or positive vibration. And as I changed, I was thinking to, because it's still daylight, to show the beautiful forest and the changing of the season here in Sweden. The leaves are changing color, and it's really a beautiful time. It's still not so cold, so it's nice to take walks outside during the days. Okay, so I was thinking to begin now, and Just a little short presentation, like 3D consciousness is what our Earth has been in for many thousands of years now. And like within the new age, we talk about that we are racing up slowly now into 5D consciousness, and some of us are already there. The Earth is definitely already there, and but as people and the animals and nature is also always ahead of us, you can say, because they are so innocent, pure, and they are just there. It's us humans who make things complicated, so we are a little bit behind, and we need to help ourselves to move up into 5D consciousness. And that means that we become more aware of ourselves, our bodies, our health, both our inner health, our mental health, and our physical health, and also the energies that are inside of us, in between us, and also connecting us humans, and also how to respect each other, how to share, because let's face it, we are not really good at sharing here on this earth. And the more we raise our vibration and consciousness, the more people will say no to this kind of systems and workplaces and countries and that have very negative control over their population and their people. So, and the more people who say no to it, the more they will be forced to change the systems according to the future of our human race, you know. So it's positive things that's going on right now, but it's also waking up resistance within each and every one of us, because all of us are born with an ego that is resisting change, that is addicted to systems because it's safe and secure, and it's nice to know what's going to happen the next day, and it's nice when you have learned a system just to do it like a without thinking, like people following systems every day. And that's the ego's that's if you are controlled by the ego and you let your ego control you instead of your heart and your soul. So if you have moved ahead and worked with yourself and you come up to 5D consciousness, you are mostly or only controlled, or not controlled, you are mostly or only guided by your heart and your soul. So you have let the ego take the, you will always have an ego, but you let the ego take the backspace. So it's not longer in the forefront as for people in the 3D. Okay, so I hope that explanation made a little bit of sense for you, because I'm going to first make predictions for people who are still in the 3D and advice for them for the coming month ahead. What's in the energetic field for everyone, and what might be happening in people's relationships, work lives, and yeah, with different things like that. And then I'm going to do predictions for people who are shifting, who are shifting back and forth between, they are slowly like waking up from the programming systems and the 3D matrix. They start to ask existential questions to themselves, and they start to think like, I used to think this was normal, but now it's not, and I'm confused now. So that's for people who are waking up and they are shifting between back and forth 3D, 4D, and 5D. And it goes like a little bit like a roller coaster. And this thing can go on for many years before you finally end up in a balanced 5D consciousness. Anyway, there's a lot to say about this different consciousness, and it's just words for consciousness and perceptions of reality that we live in. So, but if you are interested, you can always Google it on YouTube. There are many people making videos and sessions about these things, and you can also Google it. But mostly, I find information about this from YouTube, from conscious, aware people creating spiritual guiding videos. That's what I followed myself when I started to wake up properly, like it was over 10 years ago in 2009 and 10. Started to follow a lot of YouTubers who were ahead of me in the consciousness journey, and I found it very, very helpful, and they were a truly very good support for me, because when you are in this up and down hill from 3D to 4D to 5D, it can be really confusing. The emotions can go up and down, and you can feel like confused. You can almost feel insane sometimes, and Yeah, it's just like, you can say it's like going through the adolescence, like the teenage years, one more time. Like everything is really chaotic, and you are confused, and you are like, but what is real? What is not? What should I do? What should I do with my life? It's typical, these kind of questions that shows up again when you raise your consciousness. Okay, so let's begin here. We can start with the gentle and precious angel card decks here, angel card decks, and I'm going to give guidance now for the coming period that we have in front of us of October, November, December, and even during the shift of the until the towards the new year, 2022, January. So it's, I mean, time is is in time is not chopped up as we do with seconds. It's in reality, it's not chopped up. It's just fluent like a river. So I'm just going to predict some time ahead, you can say. But my plan is at least to predict what's going to change for us the coming month until the next year in January. What will be in focus for each and every one of us. So since this is for many people, you will have to use your own intuitive system and your own guidance. You should always do that, even if it's one-to-one session, by the way, because the most appropriate answers you will get if you use your own intuition instead of listening to someone else. But if you haven't really developed your own intuition properly yet, you can get a lot of help from listening and getting help by someone else. So I really recommend people to use, go to people they are attracted to or drawn to, that read cards or in other ways help you with personal development if you feel like confused in some way and that you can't handle it yourself. So this is for, I'm just going to see how long I've been talking for, almost 20 minutes already. Time moves fast. Okay, so universe, we ask you now for people who are having the 3D consciousness and perspective. What can they expect for the coming months ahead now? What do you want to say to them, especially from messages from the angels? That's beautiful. That's Angel of Light, the first card here. These are for light workers. So for people that are watching this that feel like you are beginning your spiritual journey slowly but surely, or you might have been for some time, but you're still feeling like you are stuck in the rat race and the 3D matrix, you are encouraged here that you are a light worker. You are here to do good things on earth. You are here to inspire others. And you are here to learn to light up the dark. And I would describe the light and the dark as knowledge versus ignorance or immaturity. Like if you are in the dark, it means like you lack knowledge in that area. That's why you behave in a certain way. If you lack knowledge or if you lack awareness in that area. So once you gain the wisdom and knowledge in one area, it becomes light. So you are like star seeds, and you choose to start on a 3D. Many of you who are still in 3D, your soul is not actually in 3D. But since our Earth has not come further than, actually it's in 5D, but it's shifting. So most people are still in 3D. So many people have come to this Earth, even though they come from higher consciousnesses, to come into bodies and minds that are 3D based, in order to show the way for other people how to raise your consciousness and go towards 5D perspective. So So the advice is also that if you feel like it's dark times for you in life right now, if you feel like it's problems and struggles and you feel exhausted and tired, you should try to focus on the light and the energy, what gives you energy basically. Do things, I mean, if you are stuck like I was now for a few months in a job that it maybe takes a lot of time and energy away from you, you have to find things either when you are at work, on your breaks, or even on your free time that can fill you up with energy quickly. And that could be things like it should be things that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel secure, that makes you feel calm, things you like. It can be hobbies, it can be just relaxing, it can just be taking a nap basically. It's things that recharge you with energy, will help you to go through dark periods. So trust that you have this gift to shift energies, so you can shift negative energies into positive, even if you are in 3D. It's just a matter of practicing. So that was this card wants to tell you. I just hear my cat outside, so I just want to see if he wants to come inside. Sometimes I imagine it, but I have to check just in case. I have like a GPS on him, so I can see where he is. It's so helpful. So thank God for the technology. Let's see. Story about the break. Okay, so it's resetting. Anyways, let's put it there. So yeah, so let's continue to see what you can expect in 3D in the coming months ahead on your journey towards higher consciousness. So universe will ask you to help people here who feel like they are in the 3D consciousness, stuck in 3D jobs, within relationships, 3D relationships, feeling like they are struggling a bit maybe. What are you seeing for them in the coming months ahead, and how can we help them? And how can they help themselves, first of all? Okay, obviously this is what some of you are going to go through, but not all of you, of course. So I'm picking up on the strongest energies with the cards always. And what you feel is speaking to you, you can receive it as guidance, but if it doesn't speak to you, you don't need to take it as yours, just leave it. So some of you, I mean, it's full moon as well right now. So it's the full moon is famous for making people feel like they can't sleep and things like that. Full moon is also a time where through many traditions have used the full moon to release and let go of things that no longer serves us. It can be relationships, it can be ways of thinking. It can be things that we want to leave in the past and not bring with us into the future, into the now. So full moon that we had last night is a perfect time to release and let go of things that no longer serves us. So you can, before you go to sleep, by the way, you can say loudly to yourself or think for yourself about things that you want to release and let go of, and just sleep on it. And also you can use crystals to enforce the energies and the healing and everything that you need, and the energy maybe that you want to receive. I usually put them sometimes under my pillow, but you can also use them during meditations as well, or just keep them in your home. So I see that some of you are worried. You're worried about things and you are having problems sleeping. It could be because of the full moon, but this is predictions for the coming month ahead. But it's also quite normal in these times when we go from the light summer month into the darker times of the year that are colder. At least in Sweden, they are colder and darker. It's quite normal that we change from being relaxed in the warm summer heat until we start to think about the future again, and about where we are in life and where we are striving, and have we reached our goals or haven't we, or like many worries can come up. So some of you are also worried about money right now. So just relax, and the advice is just to relax and let the thought of receiving money come into your heart and soul, like you are worthy of receiving. That means that maybe you can get help from a friend, you can get help from a family member, or you will find. Some of you also are in this process of starting your own business, and you feel worried about money because of that. It's also a way of calming yourself down, because we all go through periods of ebb and flow, and it always goes up and down with things, even with economy and money and things like that. So it's nothing that we should bother about too much. But if you are in 3D, you are extra bothered about this, because the 3D systems have told us that at least in the Western world, and at least the latest hundreds of years, that we need money to survive. Money is the main thing that makes us survive, not relationships, not family, not other forms of support like money. We have brainwashed ourselves with our system to make money number one issue, in everyone's lives. So if you're in 3D, you feel this extra strongly. And you can be really worried if something changed within your area of work or economy or other sources of income. So another advice for this, instead of diving into more worries and thoughts of worry, because what we think about give birth to more and more of the same thing. So if you worry about economy and if you have sleepless nights, you will just spin the wheel faster and faster, and it will get worse and worse. So the advice is to take a break from your thoughts through meditation, through being in nature, through relaxing, through exercising, to do something that you enjoy and that makes you think about other things. You need to spend more time within, to give more time for yourself, to calm down and to change the perspective. For you in 3D, relationships are going very well, it seems like. You're open-minded about relationships, both friendships and love. You're open-minded, you easily meet new people. If you are in a relationship, you easily forgive and make peace if you have conflicts. So relationship area seems really, really good for people in 3D right now, which is good, a very good thing actually. And to calm yourself down if you are worried about this, if you are having sleepless nights and you worry about economy, is like realize that you are in charge of your life. It's not your boss, it's not your parents, it's not your partner, it's not your children. Nobody's in charge of your life but you. Even if you are attached to other people or live with other people or cooperate with other people, you are still the one running your own body and your own thoughts. So you have to still take charge of yourself. So the advice is to become your own leader. If you feel like confused about things, like now I take it from the cards here, and they say mostly it's about problem sleeping, worries, and first and foremost about work and money. So to prevent that and to get out of that, you are encouraged to take charge of your life, to structure up your life. You can write lists to help yourself to get clear about, is it realistic worries I have, or is it like just things I make up with my imagination. So list things, write things down, like it could be costs of things, it could be how much you get every month, or it could be what you spend every month. And there you can feel calm or more in control, because you can, if you see it on paper, you can actually see where you can make changes there in order to improve it. Yes, organization is key, leadership, discipline, structure. And discipline is about if you need to make changes, if you need to cut down on things, you might need to spend less money on certain areas of your life. And that takes discipline, because if you're very used to something, it's quite hard to resist it when the opportunity comes up. But the dominating feeling is, I feel like happy for you in 3D, actually, because we are going towards a peaceful time, still time, winter, Christmas, time with family and friends, and you are in harmony with most of your family and friends here, the card shows, and you are open-minded about meeting new people as well. So you are having quite a peaceful time if you put that aside, that small part of this bad sleeping habits and the money worries. And also the sleeping habits can be because of your health habits. Think about that. So what are you eating? How much are you sleeping? Are you watching TV or using the cell phone late at night before you go to sleep? That might prevent you from having a good night's sleep without worries. So think about making changes there as well in order to get a better quality sleep. So it's happy times for you, 3D in 3D. Happy times in general. You can make plans for the new year. You're encouraged to do that, actually. Make happy and optimistic plans for the next year. That's a good advice to release a little bit of the stress of the everyday life. To just sit down, meditate, eat healthy, be in nature, and just write down what you want to achieve next year, or what changes you want to bring into your life next year, and what habits you want to maintain next year. Is there something you want to let go of next year? Is there something you want to let into your life next year? Or are you searching for something that you want to find next year? For some people, it could be love. For some, it could be more friendship. It could be a new job. It could be better health. It could be many things. It could be something, though, is not the right time right now. So be patient. Like some of you wants to jump ahead of time and you want something, but to achieve that, all areas that are a part of it needs to be in balance, needs to be achieved. And this is not yet the case. So if you want to achieve something, wait. The card says wait. So I feel like it's wait until maybe early next year, because you can focus on the end of this, just almost 2 months left of this year now. So you can focus this year on making like goals for the next year to come, and making plans, schedule plan how to achieve those things. And you can start achieving them already today, but be patient, because it's not yet the right time for the changes that you want to make. Okay, so let's see. I think this might become a long session, actually, because we are only on the first. Okay, so let's move on to a little bit more advice for people in 3D perspective. So universe, what more advice do you have for people the coming month until January next year, from people that are in the 3D consciousness and want to move forward here in the best way possible with their lives? Balance is important. Opportunities and soulmate relationships. Yeah, as I said, for 3D people, relationships are going really well right now and coming months ahead. So you could attract love. You could attract a loving relationship with a partner that suits you. Soulmate relationship can be both tough and easy, or both. It depends on where your consciousness and where your maturity is at. But definitely there are soulmates, and that's you can be soulmate with a family member, with friends, with partners, love partners. I mean, soulmates are people that we traveled with in many different lifetimes that we already know. That's why when we meet them, we feel like we have a connection and we already know them somehow, or we feel like family with them. That's soulmates. And so there's a good time for developing your close friendships, partnerships, and in overall relationships with people right now. And if you are looking for love relationships, there's a big chance you might meet someone the coming month ahead. And it's also, if you are looking for more friendships or new friendship, that's also the perfect time for that. Even work relationships, perfect time. This is cards for trustworthy relationships. Soulmates are trustworthy relationships most of the time. And unless you have a karmic relationships to solve with somebody that is a soulmate, if you have a karmic relationship, it can be some balance in karma that's going on that might feel negative at some times. But it's still a good lesson and a good relationship in the higher perspective. Also balance. You are in you're coming into a time of balance for you people in 3D. You learn to feel the balance, and through being balanced, you can also reach the higher levels of perspectives and dimensions. It's easier for you to meditate. It's easier for you to be happy when we reach this balance in life. Also working on accepting yourself, loving yourself. Like nobody of us really need to change for someone else, like here on earth. We only if we perceive like we are having problems and we want to change to avoid these problems, we should change. We shouldn't change because somebody else say, I don't like that you are like that, so please change. Because everybody would say different things. All family members, all friends, all people you strangers you don't even know, they would, if they could decide, they would shape you into something that's very unharmonious, unbalanced, because everybody has different perceptions and tastes and preferences about the people they want to be with. So don't listen to other people about yourself unless it's good, of course, unless they compliment you. So you can listen to them, of course, because you can, if you feel like they are right, sure, you can learn from it, but mostly just accept yourself where you are right now. Love yourself. Everybody has faults. Everybody has good sides, bad sides. It's up to us when and how much we want to work on these sides. But of course, the more we work on ourselves, the easier our relationships gets, and the happier we can become. So it's a win-win. But the key to balance for people in 3D are to learn this, to accept yourself, to love yourself. Because if you do, you will also easier accept and love other people. Usually people who always get upset with other people, they get like, oh, why is she like that? Why is she like that? And why does he always have to do this or say that? Or that's people who haven't learned to accept and love themselves. Because when you do, you learn that other people are okay too. They don't need to be according to your standards to be loved and accepted by you. You can accept them for who they are, in the same way you accept yourself for who you are. You only have the right to control your own body and mind, not others. That's not right. That's 3D. But 3D people usually try to do that, especially if they are unaware, unbalanced and such, you know. Also, advice for people in 3D is to learn more to live in the present moment. Because only in the present moment are the opportunities to change your lives. You can't change your life by thinking about the past or living in the past, repeating the same story all over again in your head. And you can't reach the future goals either by thinking that you always stay dreaming about what you want to do and what you want to be in 10 years or what partner you want to have in 10 years, because that partner might be here right now and you can't see them because you are somewhere in your imagination visioning something else in the future. But that person might actually be here right now, but you can't perceive them because you're stuck in a very visual 3D mind that things have to be like this. He have to be like, or she have to be like this, no? Otherwise it's not right. So the opportunities are in this now moment. When you just relax and are in balance and let go, you can discover and easier see what's true for you and what's right for you. And you can also see the opportunities passing by and grab them. If your mind is somewhere else, most likely you won't see what's passing you by in the now moment. So that's a big mistake. Okay, so let's move on to people who are struggling with moving back and forth from 3D to 5D to 4D to 5D to 3D. It's quite hard. I remember how it was for me. It was really confusing times. I didn't know if I was happy or sad. It could change like 10 times a day. And I could feel other people's feelings. I didn't know what was my feelings, what was my heartbreaks, what energies did I pick up from other people who were sad or unhappy or happy? Was it my happiness or somebody else? I was really confused like that. That's also because I'm an empathic person. So I easily absorb other people's emotions and energies. So now this is advice for the coming months and predictions for the coming months for people who are in between the stages of 3D to 5D. Let's see. Just need to drink a little bit of lemon water. Okay, universe, so can you show us the way for and the closest future for the people who are struggling with moving back and forth between 3D perception and consciousness and 5D? How does it look for them now, the next weeks and months ahead until January next year? What advice do you have for them? Learning, that's suitable. That's true. You're learning a lot when you're moving from, when you're waking up from 3D consciousness to the 5D. You're learning a lot, and it can be too much sometimes, and it can be very confusing. Because sometimes it's like starting through a shock. To wake up from 3D can come through a shock. Like somebody in your family passes away by an accident or by disease, or you could maybe be in an accident, or maybe you lose your job, or maybe you have a divorce, or in my case it was a divorce. Even though I chose it myself, it was that sort of awakening that put me in the shift between 3D and 5D. And then it started like up and down for a few years like that. Back and forth. It's more like it than up and down. It's more back and forth between consciousness, levels of consciousness. So this is advice from the angels of learning the coming month ahead. When you're moving from 3D to 5D, it's about taking risks, because I mean, you don't have a choice, because once the soul decides, it's actually your soul who decides it, not your ego. Your ego would never leave 3D for 5D. That's the thing. Our ego-based minds would never change comfort, security, knowing how systems work, even if it's uh, even if we are promised to be much more happy 10 years ahead or 5 years ahead, because the ego wants to know exactly what's going to happen, when, how, where, and for how long. And this is something you can't give answers to when you are shifting. So you are going through new times, you are moving through new times, and you are taking risks. You need to take risks, basically, because 3D is a lower state of awareness, meaning you don't have as much knowledge about things in the world and the universe as you will receive when you enter the 5D. So when you are in 3D and you usually get catapulted for the first time out of 3D, and that's usually a shock, feeling like the movie Matrix, when you all of a sudden waking up and you see like how the reality really is and really looks like, and something that it's like being a sleepwalker to life, and all of a sudden somebody wake you up and you're like, oh my god, so I've been like doing this without thinking for so many years, and it's now I can. You get more freedom when you wake up from 3D. But when you're in 3D, you are not aware of that you are actually like a slave following a system. So you can be like sort of in a state, ignorance is bliss. But once you get catapulted out from 3D the first time, it's like a big shock, usually for the system. And then you go back and forth so many times because the ego keep pulling you back to safety, what you know, already know. And then your soul and your heart wants to spread their wings and fly and try new things and reach your dreams, you know. So it's a time for learning, sourcing information. You can do today. It's easy to get information about. I mean, when you wake up from 3D, it's not like you need to study, for example, like me, New Age and spiritual subjects and stuff. It's not really about that. It's about consciousness. It's about the way the philosophical thinking you have of your life and life in general. It's about to dare to questionize yourself and your previous beliefs and to be open to change your beliefs. That's really what's happening when you leave 3D and you go to 4 and 5D back and forth. You are like challenging your old beliefs that you thought was the truth. But that's basically what it is. So you can find new information that will threaten your old beliefs. And in the beginning, it might be scary, uncomfortable, and but the more you learn about the new beliefs or the new thoughts or the more you gain knowledge about what's around the system and what's around your old beliefs, the more you will feel safe and secure to move ahead and choose new ways than you have previously. So that's the thing for people shifting into from 3D to 5D. So you will source a lot of information the coming months, and you will learn a lot, and you will be interested in things maybe that you previously wasn't interested in. And that's really good sign that you are very maturing and developing your mind, and your heart and soul guides the way. So let's see what else for people in shifting here. So universe, what more guidance do you have the coming month for people that are shifting back and forth between 3D and 5D? One card is the world, one card is awakening. So spot on cards, oh my god, for the subjects. It's I never get amazed myself and surprised. I always get amazed, and surprised by how spot on the cards can pick up on energies and the subjects I'm talking about. Um, yeah, so for people shifting in from 3D to 5D, you are having an awakening, of course, like the card says here. And that means also you have to be patient with yourself. Like for myself, my awakening took time, 5-6 years maybe. And also it never ends. Like awakening never ends. But I feel like I'm like in 5D right now. But obviously there's no scientific proof of that. That's just my feeling and belief, because I was like this for a long time. And now I feel like since 2016, I feel like leveled. And it's just become more and more stable since then. And so the important thing to think about when you're shifting between 3D and 5D is to, like for people in 3D, to focus on loving yourself, being yourself, accepting yourself, and accepting that you are going through shifts, accepting that actually what you thought yesterday, you might not think today. So if people around you say, you're changing your mind all the time, they might be annoyed at you, they might think you are unreliable, they might think you are confused or not really knowing what you're doing. It's only because they don't understand that you are in this shift. And also people, especially ego-based people in the 3D, they don't like when people change, because they like when things are predictable. They like when people are predictable. They like when they know that this person always go to this shop at this time, and this person always come to visit me at this time, and always say these things. That's basically the negative side of 3D people. But when you change as a person, like for example me, I accept people that are changing. I don't criticize them because I'm happy for them, because I know that I've gone through this journey myself. But some people get triggered when people change. They are afraid of losing them, maybe if it's in relationships, is it with family, friends. They can be so afraid of that somebody is changing, because first of all, it triggers them to feel like, do I have to change as well? Oh my God, that's so scary. I don't want to change. Why do you have to change? It always has to do with themselves. And also they might think like, oh my God, if he changed, he is not going to, we are not going to be able to be friends anymore, because I'm only friends with him because he likes this, he does these things, and he comes to me at this days. And because they are so stuck in their ways. When you are in 3D, you are so stuck in systems and patterns that everything has to be the same. You are not flexible in your living or your thinking. So if you have people around you like that, just be patient with them, because they are not shifting yet, so they can't understand this. And so at times also you will feel like you are stuck in 3D, like you can't move up. Even though you are shifting, you feel like nothing changed. I always get back to the same problems, or I always get back to the same thoughts. It's going to be like that for some time before you have reached a more harmonic state. And for me, myself as an example, it took a lot of years. And then I must say I have been studying spiritual subjects and challenged my thinking since I was a teenager. But once I reached this awakening, it was like something I can't, completely different from what I experienced before ever in my life. It was like shocking. And it was torture mixed with shorter moments of bliss and happiness. But it felt like mostly torture. It's called Dark Night of the Soul, by the way, for you who don't know, to wake up from 3D to 5D, Dark Night of the Soul. Or you call Dark Night of the Soul the trigger point, the time of the trigger point from starting to wake up. So if you hear Dark Night of the Soul, that's what it's all about. So sometimes it feels like things are not moving, nothing is changing. You might want to change your whole life around, your friendships, your family, your living, your work. You might want to change everything in your life, but in the beginning, for the first years, maybe it might not be possible, because you're still not there in your mind and your heart. So you have to be patient, they say here. and to be yourself, also to appreciate that you can only be yourself. And to be yourself is not to think the same thing as yesterday. It's not to be the same person as yesterday. That's a person who's not maturing and developing. So for people who tell you that, they are wrong, and most likely stuck in 3D. So it's an awakening process, especially around Christmas time, December. And for you who are shifting, it's also a successful time. As for 3D people, it's a successful time with family and relationship and children, family life. And it's also a successful time for work and economy, unlike some people in the 3D. You can have the chance to find new jobs at this time for you who are shifting. If you have your eyes open, you can find a new job that's more suitable to who you are right now. And also you might meet new people that feels more close to who you are now as well. And you are on a journey. For some of you, you are starting to reach the end of this cycle of moving up and down between 3D and 5D, because the world cards shows up. And it's like, I see it as you are in the end of a cycle of spiritual development or maturing or development. You are reaching a new stage in life. So for some of you, you are almost there, You've done a lot of job work already and you've gone through a lot of difficulties. So you're almost there. So just be patient with yourself. Sometimes things take time. And also for some of you, you are a little bit too stuck in materialistic things, ways, matters, like work, too much running around with family members and stuff, too much everyday stress. You need to take time for playing, letting your soul get nourishment like a child, to let your soul play, your heart, your body and mind play, to do things that relaxes you, that you think are fun. And that's good for you as well, of course. Health is wealth. So for some of you, it's so much, so you will need to learn to, in order to get time for yourself, you need to learn to cooperate with others and let others help you, and not feel like a stubborn person who wants to do everything yourself and to be the one who does everything that people admires because you do so much. But it only hurts yourself in the end. So let people help you. Ask friends, ask family to take some of your job if it's fair, Ask some of them to help you so you can get some more time for yourself and what you need to do. Because it can affect your health otherwise, this card says. Both mental health and physical health, if you don't take care of yourself. So that's for people who are shifting. We can take one more card or a few more cards for people who are shifting from 3D to 5D, what to expect now until coming months up until January here. Okay, 1 hour. So we still have the 5D still left. So it's going to be a long video today, long session. Hello, Lotta. I saw your comment now. I'm sitting so far away so I can see. Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit cuckoo. So I have my Christmas tree all year around. It's been there until since last year, 2020. Yeah, I was too lazy to take it down, and I think it's fine. It's Christmas all year around in my place. That's what I say sometimes. So it's my Christmas tree there. So I don't need to worry about the stress of decorating for Christmas. It's already done. Okay, so for people who are moving back and forth between 3D and 5D, what more do you have to say about the coming months, universe? Okay, so you have protection. You don't need to worry if you feel worried about something. That's, I mean, it could be, have trust and try to replace your fear with love. Because it's the opposite force. If you feel like fearful, you can't let the love calm you down and make you feel happy and peaceful. Not in relationships or not in other areas or not about yourself either. So try to relax and feel the love coming through you, soothing you down from universe all over you, inside of you. And it will radiate out from you and affect your relationships in a positive way as well. Because the universe wants to tell you, who are moving like this back and forth from 3D to 5D, that you're having protection. So even if you get, because when we shift from 3D to 5D, we have to meet our darkest fears. We have to. That's why it's called Dark Night of the Soul. You opening your closet. Everyone has a dark closet. If you haven't worked with personal development, I'm telling you this. Everyone has a dark closet with fears and strange beliefs that we collected from childhood and through other people's opinions or whatever thoughts that you have collected it through your life until the time when you start looking in your closet what's there and putting light in the darkness. And that's very uncomfortable in the beginning. It can be scary, but it needs to be done, because after that it's much easier to never have fear, almost never at least, and to feel safe and loved, and to feel like universe is on your side. They always want to help us. The universe always wants to help us, because the universe, like physics, it always aim for balance. Like everything should be balanced. Like the universe and the nature always search for balance. Same with that's why they want us to be in balance, and we can only help ourselves by cleansing out our backpack or our closet, so to speak. And most of the things that we think are afraid for are things that we were afraid for maybe when we were teenagers or 3 years old or 5 years old, but they carry the same fear because we have never cared to open the door and looked at it and gone through it. And once you do, you can relax and it gets lighter and you feel like it's not much about life I need to be scared for, really, because now I gone through all my dirty laundry or shit or whatever people say. You can say so many things about these things. Yeah, so this is a protection card. Don't worry, nothing can hurt you, really. It's nothing that can hurt you. The only thing that hurts you is if you avoid problems that only gets bigger and bigger, or if you avoid yourself, if you avoid your health, your relationships. I mean, we have to work on everything to be good in our lives. We have to work on ourselves, we have to work on our health, we have to work on our relationship to keep them in balance, to keep them good. But it becomes a natural state once we start to do this. Okay, so I think, wow, 1 hour. So now let's move over to one more card for people shifting, because it's a tough time. You deserve a few more cards, I think. It's the toughest time to go through, I think. Can you say something more to people shifting from 3D to 5D up until January now? Okay, so that's beautiful. Peace. It's this card. Mother with a child. Peace. There's nothing to worry about. Everything is exactly as it's supposed to be right now. So if you are thinking like something is wrong because you are feeling uncomfortable feelings or you are going through problems of some kind, it's because you are meant to be going through this and you are learning from this. So just relax. Everyone goes through periods of difficulties in life. It's you're coming out on the other side, and it's going to be peace and it's going to be love. Okay, so yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. So let's go to people who are feeling that like they are in 5D already. Congratulations to all of you. Woo! Because that's the place to be, really. And that's the place where we can make big shifts. We can come together. We can make things happen. We can feel motivated to create peace on earth, to create health on earth. I mean, everything is upside down right now. People's bodies are unhealthy. Nature is unhealthy because we cut down all the trees, we kill all the animals, we put poison in nature and the oceans. I mean, the world is really crazy, and that's all because of the 3D system, which prioritizes money above everything else, above health, above. Just look at the corona situation. That's one issue that you can see from these different perspectives. And the people who are most afraid of this situation are definitely stuck in 3D. I can say that all of people who are in 5D, they hardly don't even believe this. They don't live in this fear. I don't even live in this fear, because we had flus since the beginning of time. I think we had flus. It's natural to have flus. Also, people have died from flus since early days, because people who have weakened the immune system, they can die of anything, basically. Flus, anything else. It's natural. It's just that because we put it on TV screens and we are shouting out it through political system, through magazines, through TVs, and we are convincing people that they have to pay now a lot of money to be healthy. That's what it is all about, I think. We have to pay to be healthy now. That's what the 3D matrix want to convince us, because the 3D matrix is collapsing. The money system is collapsing. Yeah. We have seen that time and time again. And that's why it gets more and more hysterical, more and more insane. And so don't fall for everything you hear. Just saying, on TV, news, and media. It's not like scientific facts, to put on the television and watch the news. It's not scientific facts. It's usually manipulative facts. Like to choose to show particular people from one country, letting them represent the whole country. This is how people from this country are. This is what's going on in this country. But it's a country, it has a lot of cities. It has a lot of nature. It has a lot of people. So many things. If you travel like me a lot, you notice like the world is quite similar everywhere at the same time, as it is so cool and different. You can do so many discoveries if you travel with people. And there are loving people everywhere, not just around you and where you live. They are everywhere, and there are trustworthy people everywhere. But the TV and media fools us to believe that you are only safe in your small little box. Sit at home, watch TV, believe everything you read and see. That's also 3D, by the way, to see things like that. So don't get stuck in that, because it keeps you in fear. It keeps you from going out on adventures. It keeps you out from living your best life. It keeps you from developing as a person, to mature, to take risks. So use your common sense while watching everything, like everything you read, even when you study. Compare different books, books I feel are much more reliable than magazines, because books before weren't written to make money. They were written because people were passionate about sharing subjects. But nowadays everything is about making money. And then they try to get information that attract people's attention and make them want to spend money, basically, to get more. And usually the best way is to make people afraid and fearful, because if you make people afraid and fearful, they feel like they can't miss anything because they might die or they might make a mistake. So then they feel forced to spend more money to consume more negative news, more negative things, and to put more artificial things in our bodies that we don't really need. Not saying anything about the V though. That's I'm not a scientist, so that's a personal choice, I think. But before you do anything, I recommend you to study both sides of the story, and to feel in your intuition what's right for you. Anyway, now for people in 5D, let's see. So what's up now, universe, for people in 5D, the coming month ahead? What can they expect? What are the challenges? What are your advice for people in 5D up until January next year? So the first card is peace. The same card as I got for people shifting from 3D to 5D. The first card is peace. No need to worry, because you are where you're supposed to be right now, and everything that happens is supposed to be happening right now. So don't worry. And that's something usually we already learned when we are in 5D. We don't worry about unnecessary things, but of course we worry still sometime. But the thing is to learn to not let the ego take control and make up stories that hasn't happened, like disaster story, catastrophic stories. I used to do, when I was stuck in 3D, I used to do that all the time. Used to always imagine the worst case scenario. And the result of that was I didn't take a lot of risks. I was always unhappy. That's what happens if you let yourself get stuck in 3D. So obviously, it's better to take the risks, to face your fears and move ahead. So no worries, everything is like it's supposed to be. It's a peaceful time ahead for people in 5D as well. The thing is, you need to start to learn how to share and to not do everything yourself. This is similar to people in 3D, I think, if I don't remember wrong. Like, to ask others for help sometime instead of trying to do everything yourself. Like, you don't need to let your prideful ego, because we still have ego in 5D. We don't need to be prideful ego that say like, oh, I can do everything myself, you know. I don't need any help from anyone, you know. So it's actually good to be balanced like that, to let people help you and to help people. It's a good way of balancing. So that's an advice for people in 5D. Also, don't give up, because people in 3D, that are shifting, people in 5D, we all have goals and dreams that we're trying to achieve. And this card for people in 5D is saying, don't give up. Don't give up. And also express your opinions. Stand up for your beliefs. Don't let other people's opinions pull you down or make you feel uncomfortable, or like if they are against your beliefs, because that can happen easily, because we are not, majority is still in 3D. So when you're in 5D, you can have some radical beliefs that might trigger people to attack you verbally, sometimes physically. It can be a little bit abusive for some unlucky people as well. So if you're in 5D, the advice is dare to be in 5D, dare to be proud of it, dare to be proud over your higher new perspective that you have worked hard for. I mean, it didn't come for free. It didn't just fall down your head or heart. I mean, we worked bloody hard to get where we are, to be peaceful, to be happy, not to be afraid for every little thing that media tells you to be afraid of, to take control of our own bodies and systems, and not to trust that doctors will fix you if something breaks, you know. We are responsible to treat our bodies with respect, and the best way of being healthy is to prevent disease by eating healthy, eating and taking care of your body, basically. And also, don't be afraid to express your opinions. Don't be shy about being spiritually advanced. Be proud of it. Like, you can help a lot of people, so dare to be expressive, dare to have different opinions, dare to have different beliefs, dare to be considered as a weirdo or strange person, because I do many times. I'm considered many times as a weird person, a strange person, because I'm basically living in a place where not many people are in 5D, actually. At least not many people I met here in this town. And so if you, for example, go to places like Bali, like there are many places on earth where people like New Age people and more spiritually aware people are collecting, and they are living together, and they are living in collectives, and they are like drawn to certain places because they are considered peaceful and spiritual, or more. And there you can find more like-minded people that agrees with you, and that, you know, are like your brothers and sisters. You feel like, oh, where have you been all my life? I see these people only on YouTube and sometimes when I travel, of course. But it's about just daring to be yourself, because when you have come to 5D, you have become quite a strong person. You have gone through a lot of challenges. You are not scared to be different and to stand out. But sometimes you might need a reminder to be stubborn, to continue to strive for your goals and dreams, and to stand up for your beliefs. Be proud over them. I mean, it's easy to agree with others, even if you don't really agree with them. That belongs to 3D, to believe with the collective, because you're scared to be alone, you're scared to be abandoned, you're scared that you can't live by yourself, and that's why you have to agree with what everyone else says, and things like that. When you dare to take the brave way to mature and develop into a new awareness and consciousness, you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded because you will feel so peaceful that you feel like the whole universe is with you, not against you. If you are in 3D, it's easy to feel like the universe is against me because this didn't happen and I wanted this to happen. That's when you're stuck in your ego mind, when you think like that. When you're in 5D, instead you think, oh, I wanted this, but instead this happened. Thank you, universe. I must have been wrong. I must have been led by my ego. This can't have been meant to be, because if this was meant to be, it would have happened by now, because I'm in 5D. So if it didn't happen, it means that I was wrong. It wasn't meant for me. So thank you. You are thankful instead. You see things that happen to you as gifts rather than punishments, even if it's sometimes uncomfortable. That's the big difference between 3D and 5D. Okay, so what else? I think I'll try to finish this very soon. Because 5D people, you are already quite peaceful, secure, happy. You are in control. You feel like you are an alchemist. You are in control of your life. Not in control, but you are in the flow of co-creating your life with the universe. You don't need to control your life. Part of what it's uncomfortable to be in 3D and shift from 3D to 5D is because you need to release control over things. And you need to trust the universe that even if I don't know exactly what's going to happen, if I do this, universe will help me, so I will end up in a better place. That's releasing control. Otherwise, you will always do the same thing over and over again, like Einstein said, getting the same results over and over again, and you will be stuck in 3D forever and ever. Yeah. So more for 5D people, universe. What can we expect now up until January? Do you have another advice for us? Same as for I think it was either 3D or the people shifting from 3D to 5D. Something is bad timing right now. It could be love, it could be work, it could be to start new projects. Something is not the right time for now. You need to wait. Also, the same card shows up again. That you need to spend time in meditation, more time alone. To take this time to be peaceful, to look within, to just collect your energies and just getting guidance again before you make moves. And for me, I feel like the time for action is actually next year, January. But for some, it can be already this year. But for me personally, I feel like right now is a time for rest and relaxation for me. But of course, at the same time, as I said, I'm looking for a new job, but I'm not feeling stressful about it, because I feel like when it's meant to be happening, it's meant to be happening. And I also trust my intuition. It's worked for me so many times. Like, I feel like when the time is right to hurry on and to make quick decisions and to start working harder, I just feel it within. I feel a rush within, like energy, like you have to do it now. So until I feel that, it's just waste of energy, basically. So don't be afraid to follow your intuition, 5D people. And don't be afraid to withdraw and just take time for yourself and listen to your intuition and universe guidance. What you are trying to achieve might not be available right now. It might be available in 1 week, 2 week, 1 month, or either December or January even. Time will tell. Just follow the flow, follow your intuition, follow your feelings. Actually, this is very similar cards to, I think, 3D people. Also, it's about being the leader in your own life. Be disciplined, take leadership, maybe make lists. I mean, it's for everyone basically, because we are in the end of the year, beginning of the new year, and usually it's a time where people want to maybe have good times with friends and family, relax a little bit. I mean, the winter in Sweden makes things very slow. Not many people are outside, and it's not so lively. Most people, it's an easier time to just do cozy things inside, more quiet things, and also a time to think about about goals for the next year. For example, is there something I'm working towards changing, and things like that. So for 5D people, it can also be a good idea to make lists or to organize things by writing them down, goals, dreams. If there's something you need to focus on more, areas you need to focus on more than others. Or if I stopped making lists actually many years ago now, but I just try to reorganize it in my mind. I trust my mind much more now that I can remember things and that I follow things and my intuition. But I used to do lists a lot before, many years ago, and it used to work as well. But it kept me also a little bit too much stuck in the 3D. So if you manage to sort things out without writing them down, you can do that as well. And to be open-minded about people, new relationships. For 5D people, I mean, let people in, get to know people, be accepting of people, no matter if they are in 3D, shifting. Don't be judgmental. I mean, 5D people, we can slip into our egos often too, like to judge people who are in 3D, for example, like, oh my God, I can't believe they are still thinking like that. Things like that. And that's our ego getting triggered. And also feel like impatience when they don't understand what we are talking about. That for us makes so much sense, but for them it's like not even reality, not even science. For them it's like a language they don't understand. So we have to be careful not to be prideful and judgmental and think we are better than others because we have reached a higher perspective of things. We are still on, like, we are just energies, different vibrations, different levels, and all of us are attached together with everyone. We are attached with everyone, animals, nature, 3D people, 5D people. We are like air. Air has no space in between. So same with energies. We are all connected somehow in a web, mysterious web. Also happy times. Oh my God, I mean, it's almost exactly the same cards as for 3D. So that's a nice thing as well. I remember one card for 3D was balance, and I think it showed up again for the shifting ones. And I think I want to perceive it as this as well, as it's a balancing time right now between all different levels of consciousness on this earth. I want to see it like that. Like, it doesn't matter what we know or who we are or what religion we have or what beliefs we have or if we are, how high our consciousness are, because if we can connect through our hearts, if we can connect, well, it's been long video now. If we can connect through our hearts, we can feel that we understand each other and we can feel on the same level no matter what. But it takes that you open your heart, like the card says as well, open your heart. We need to open our heart, both 5D people and everyone. Make sure we keep an open heart so we can connect with everyone. And if we do that, we can see, like the word namaste means, we can see the wisdom in every soul, and we can see what we can learn from everyone without letting our ego being prideful or think we know better than others, because really we don't. Because none of us, we are on a journey that's quite mysterious on this earth, and really we don't really know if we are right or wrong in any area, not even science. You can't trust that they are right. You can't trust anything basically at the same time as you have to learn how to trust things, but especially yourself. I believe more in Eastern philosophies like the yogi philosophies and Buddhism, Hinduism, and that's more about, I mean, everything is within ourselves. We can find everything within ourselves, and when we can't help other people if we are still a mess inside. Like many people, they start focusing on helping other people when they haven't even helped themselves first. They are not balanced, they are not feeling well, they are unhappy. How can you help somebody else to be happy and balanced when you don't know how to make yourself happy and balanced? So the lesson is always, no matter what we are or consider ourselves to be, always make sure we are within ourselves what we're trying to teach others or put out in the world. We have to preach what we are. If there's a saying in English, preach as you, I mean, it's like walk the talk. We should walk the talk. We shouldn't just talk. We should do what we say as well. We shouldn't just talk about health. We have to be an example of being healthy. We shouldn't just talk about wisdom and gaining wisdom if we don't ever study or get to know new people or try to understand people who think different than us. We shouldn't talk about wisdom or knowledge, because that's not knowledge to just cut people off without them having their say in things. And happy times. So happy times, but not the right time. Happy times and time for making plans, but maybe not the right time for some things, some projects and dreams that we have. So that's my session for today. Thank you so much. Peace and namaste. I'm going to upload much more now, hopefully. That's my goal, that's my plan. And I hopefully can find a job that's not so stressful to combine my other job with and to make a living so I can continue with my hobbies and interests like this, making YouTube videos, for example, and other things. So have a nice week, have a nice fall week, have a nice week everywhere in the world where you are, and enjoy life. Don't be afraid of taking risks, and life is an adventure. Peace, namaste, bye bye.